Hi, this is Janet, and I was feeling inspired to share some of my thoughts. I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm gonna post it online, but maybe it is just for me to track my thoughts. And if you're seeing me online, you might resonate with these thoughts. So let's get started. Yeah, I was thinking after I woke up today that are we actually able to calm down our thoughts? Can we live without those distractions every single day? Wow. We just reached the next brain fog moment. I love that. Cool spirit, why do you do that to me? Okay, let's continue. I don't know where to start. Yeah, also the fact that I cannot do journaling now because kind of channeling all day. I feel like some of them needs to be expressed as well and differently, not only through writing. So I hate this so much. Sitting in front of the camera and not knowing and reaching exactly instantly the next brain fog moment. So if you are on ADHD, welcome to the club. Cool. Yeah, the thought I was having was, are we actually able to understand what is our thoughts, what we are bringing in and what we are receiving, to experience balance, to embrace duality, to understand what we are channeling, and to be aware of the thoughts we are receiving. You know, sometimes it feels like it's this mental prison we live in. We cannot ignore that because that is based on our reproductive system. It is part of our healing. So you actually have to feel through that. Actually have to understand when you are playing playing is the wrong word, when you need to be the observer and when it is time for you to sit with the feelings you have so that you can actually alchemize them. As I say, it is part of the process. Sometimes it feels like, at least I feel like, when it is the last day, when it is the last time, it was like at first of my spiritual awakening, it was, you know, at the very beginning, and I didn't know how these things works, and I used to think, when is it the last day of my healing that I know it is done finally, when it is the last time I am or I am going to be able to scream that all out, which is also restricted. I cannot scream out because maybe my neighbor's gonna call the police. Anyway, oh, I'm sorry, I cannot be serious enough because this camera makes me nervous. But anyways, yeah, to realize when to sit with the feelings so that you can alchemize them, to sit in the discomfort and yeah, balance them. Balancing is the neutral point when we attract the right things through our intentions. But the first thing is the awareness, right? So you need to be aware, need to be understand how to calm down your mind, how to differentiate the thoughts you have, the thoughts you receive, to experience balance, the thoughts you are bringing in yourself, and the things you might be channeling but not knowing. You know, sometimes you have to, I guess sometimes it's also the wrong word, it's just you have to be able to appreciate the knowledge, the wisdom you receive, no matter what sizes they come in, you know. Sometimes it feels like, okay, it's just you thinking sometimes the worst things, and sometimes the, you know, very profound things, and you think they are yours. Yeah, they are, but if you can differentiate something that your mind isn't usually telling you, or your mind is not talking to you like that, and you know, like the way the thoughts you usually receive, and the things you channel, and to understand they come with a small voice, with little words, little nudges. And it can be very confusing till you be aware of them. And if you do, you understand that these little voices, they are the voice of your soul, of your higher mind, guiding you. And how can you work with them? You can work with them just by being present, just by being in the present moment, because we have only this, you know, infinity present moment. And by showing gratitude, by being grateful, as I said, it doesn't matter in whatever size they are coming in. You have to be able to appreciate that. You have to be grateful for that, so that, you know, this is why people don't understand manifestations. It is you can understand the concept of manifestation in so many ways. It is like praying, it is like setting intentions out there to the universe, to the Most High, to the creator of love and light and dark. There is all, at least in the 3D, in the third dimension, you're going to face it all, because that's what our soul came here to experience, to embrace duality. This is why you'll face things positively, and also there is negative things as much as positive things you are going to experience. There are the negative as well, but understand they are on purpose, and you don't have to freak out just like I used to do. So everything is on purpose, and understand the fact that you will not have challenges or get challenges you cannot face or you are not able to face. Everything is on purpose, and your soul knows when it brings challenges for you to evolve, to expand, because that's part of the process. And we think ascension sometimes is coming from outwards, but that's exactly the opposite. Your ascension or healing itself also, it is all inside work. The moment you choose, you understand the patterns, you understand the nature of things you might know from your past, from your or the limited belief systems. But what I needed to understand, and I needed like a pretty long time to embrace the fact that it is actually all inside work, and you don't have to look for anything outside, even though we live in a world in the matrix where we get distracted in every possible way. And that is also on purpose, because matrix has its own programming, and which is to distract you as much as possible so that you don't wake up, so that you chase comfort and certainty, where nothing is certain until you repeat those uncertain things long enough so that they feel certain, which is also part of the process for you to be comfortable and not waking up, because sometimes we think we want change, but we don't want to have it uncomfortable, but there is no change, no expanding without sitting in the discomfort. And if you allow yourself to sit in the discomfort, that's when you evolve. That's when you heal, and you are able to, I wanted to say alchemize that's when you are able to alchemize things and transform, because every energy is an energy and it just get transformed. You can change the form of it, you transmute, but you cannot undo it, you cannot make it not existent. And when you understand that, you start to bend timelines and you start to see your old identities that were built of lies and those different layers of masks and the things we see in our first learning process as a child, that who we should be, and which is paradox. You get to learn something and create an identity based on those parental teachings, or based on those environments of your society, of your family dynamics, of your, I don't know, even the governmental politics. Everything plays a role in our life and everything is on purpose, and that's actually the paradox of everything. After you get to wake up in the simulation, in this video game, and there is, I believe, no other times of facing duality, this extreme sense of facing duality, till you get to wake up, and that was, I'd say, kind of the worst period of awakening. I would say it again, because last one was like pretty weird. And yeah, because that's when you confuse the concept of thoughts, that they are not yours, that the thoughts you have, most of them you receive, because the thought you actually think you're bringing them in, they are not just, because right now I'm talking and there's like no script, so I'm bringing them in, and I didn't even know what am I going to talk about, and this might be only for myself, but which is okay, because our expressions are unique in our own way. And look, my voice is even shaking because I'm not used to it, but that's just another way of expanding to understand that you don't have to be perfect, just like Matrix shows us every way possible, all the way you scroll through the social media and you think life is all about this, perfection. And even though me as well, including me, used to, do this Instagram stories based on what I've seen online, which is doesn't make sense, but it's just the influence we get influenced without even asking what are we even doing and why are we doing that, who we need to impress. And this is why it is so important to understand the most important thing in our life, to understand, to discover ourselves, our own individual being, and we are in the deepest level in our soul. And what is our soul's essence? And the first person you need to discover is yourself. The first person you need to understand is yourself, because this is what we are, individual universes experiencing itself. And it is supposed to be easy, not perfect. And it is supposed to be joyful, it is supposed to be authentic, it is supposed to be different without seeking external validation to be some way, because someone has been this way. So it is, we normalize things that we have seen once, or we get used to it, but that's not what we meant to be. We are supposed to be our unique self with all our flaws that we have, and that's the whole point of it. And I guess I just missed one point I was talking about. That's just me being an ADHD. And however, this is, I guess, probably going to be anyways part of my journaling. And I don't think I'm going to online with this, but anyways, if I do, and if you did resonate with this, I am happy. And trust in yourself, because that's the whole point, to be able to trust ourselves again, because I believe we have been manipulated long enough to lose this trust in ourselves, And this is why we talk about, so much about healing of our inner child, because that's the essential part of our being. Because as a child, we didn't used to pretend. We used to be just, without overthinking, without trying to be perfect. And that is our actual soul's essence. And this is why it is important to go back to the time when your inner child didn't have that safety, didn't feel safe enough, and the time you started to think for the first time, or you can remember if you go back to the time. Because it is this part of this process, it is the most important part of our transition, you know, to, or as I said, it is paradox. You learn to be something you're not, to be accepted, to be liked, to be loved. If you go back to the time, you'll remember it was hard to be not yourself. I'm getting full body chills. It was a hard process every single time someone told us to be something so that we don't get judged. It was hard to pretend to be something, to put mask on, and layers after layers, to be liked, to be loved. And then we did it long enough, because that's the only way we have been introduced, and it felt normal in some kind of way because everyone was doing the same. And in the process of, you know, becoming something you're not, so you're signing kind of the contract of keep yourself asleep. After you are awakened, you try to make sense of everything with your physical mind, which doesn't really work because we didn't choose our soul's purpose with our physical mind. It was our soul that is experiencing and discovering ourselves. And that's why I cannot make sense out of it. By thinking or by trying to find out why we go through a process of something we are not, then we have to do this healing work to go through the process of unbecoming everything we are not, to get back to our soul's essence. And in all of this, one thing, if you're resonating with this, you might recognize also, just like me, that not a single second in this simulation, in this video game, is a coincidence. It is everything is being scripted, and your soul came here, came into this earth to experience exactly these transitions, you know, to break through all of these lies. And in that process, you evolve. And if you're seeing me, I'd like to inspire you to trust in yourself and have trust with the universe, and have grace with yourself, with your this process of unbecoming and becoming the soul's essence, the real you, the authentic you, the you that they never wanted you to be. And celebrate yourself, this process, and every little step you make and every little change you make. I know how hard it is, and if you're doing this, I'm so proud of you. And yeah, if you're seeing me, I'm just going to leave it there. Have a great day. Bye.